To say Hurricane Helene changed our world as we know it doesn't do it justice. Lives were lost, homes were lost, livelihoods. The one thing we didn't lose in East Tennessee was our sense of self, who we are, what we stand for, and what we stand up to. It's almost a year since the storm washed many of us out, but we're on the road to recovery, slowly but surely. We're getting there.
During the disaster, the only main bridge we still had was Jackson Love. Once it was inspected by the state to make sure it was safe, we started letting traffic go across it. We lost Chestour Bridge, which is a main fairway from Chestour over to the interstate for the people that live in the Chestour area. Also a big bridge as far as our rafting and our tourism goes, which is still not replaced. We're under the process of getting it bidded out. We lost I-26 bridge, east and westbound. So we had traffic going through a small community of Sandy Bottom, which is normally just a small 2-lane road. And that's how everybody was transiting from the south end of the county back to Irwin. And then all the traffic that was coming in on the interstate, we had to stop it at the state line. Made it rough on people because I-40 had bridges out too. So our goal was to get transportation and people's ways of being able to travel back as quick as possible. We worked with the Department of Transportation and the County Highway Department, and they quickly helped us in getting just the necessary trucks for deliveries and stuff coming through Irwin. But downtown Irwin served as a main fairway from Johnson City to North Carolina for 4 or 5 weeks until we could get the interstate open, until we could get some other things back open for people to transit.
Carter County sustained over $180 million in infrastructure damage. That's all public infrastructure, which is the fire department, the school we lost, our roads, our bridges. We lost 3 main bridges and 65 roads, 55 miles of road frontage that we've lost that are all in temporary states still currently. There's around $150 million in residential damage. 1,093 parcels with homes that sat on them were damaged, minor, major, or completely washed away. Out of those 1,093, 75 homes are no longer, the property's no longer there, nor is the home there. So the property's completely gone. So in total, Carter County, between residential and public infrastructure, around $360 million in damage. And so we are 9 months out, and the road has been slow and tedious, and many people have been very impatient with government and getting things back to normal, but we're slowly moving there.
So what has been done since the hurricane blew through our region? Where do we stand with our roads and bridges? Has business come back? Are we whole? At least as much as we can hope to be at this point? According to the Tennessee Department of Transportation, 44 of the 49 state and local routes initially closed by the storm have reopened. Some rural communities are still struggling with utilities. Some residents are still waiting on contact from FEMA or their insurance companies before they can have any hope of rebuilding. It's 9 months out, and many people are still wondering how to start over. There are positives, though. In a state not known for government efficiency, politicians have worked to get main highways and bridges repaired and operational, with several projects coming in ahead of schedule, such as the Alfred Taylor Bridge in Washington County. Highway 81 came to a stop after Helene, as the bridge was washed downriver. The rebuilding project took only 8 months. Pretty impressive for the scope of the bridge's design and build.
Immediate need was access. We had lost all of our access to the 107 side of the river. All the bridges, the roads were either covered with trees or the bridges had been washed out. And of course the backside of that is National Forest Service. And so it is really a rough ride getting in and out of the backside of the area over there. So we knew we needed to get over there for fire protection, medical services, and just to find out exactly what the conditions were on the 107 side of the river. So really getting access was the biggest piece right away. The governor, Commissioner Ely, TDOT people were boots on the ground with us really from day one. And I can remember a meeting, just opened up the back of my car and I said, Commissioner, here's my problem. Just upriver, we have a road section out and I can't get emergency vehicles. I can't get fire protection back there. I can't get emergency medical back there. So the head TDOT engineer for Region 1, for our region, was there, standing there looking at what I had, and he said, I'll get you something back tomorrow. And they went back and got to work and they gave us a basic design that I was able to give to a contractor that TDOT already had negotiated force account labor arrangements with, and they got started the next day. And they said, well, it's going to take us, we think, about 20 days to do this. And I'm just going, you guys need to make it happen better than that. And 8 days later, we were able to open just a single lane, but access into that community. And so that was a big relief. I could go back to sleeping again because these people at least had emergency protection.
There's been a lot of projects and that have been completed. Several of them were not necessarily county projects. Hopefully sometime this month, I-26, TDOT will get that open, which is a major. If you'd seen the devastation to that interstate, it's hard to believe. 81, which was a main highway, which is a state route, and the state jumped on that, has been completed. Spivey Mountain Road was another state route that community was devastated, couldn't hardly get in and get out. They was having to do runarounds, and that project has been complete. We have several main ones that we're working on. The Chestoa Bridge, engineering plans and specifications are in the works right now through our engineering company. We hope to have those done and completed and approved by the end of this year to put the project out for bid. Our rail spur is similar to that. We have that bid we hope will go out this month. If not, 1st of August, to get the rail spur back in place, because 2 or 3 of the industries have already got to the point where they can start back up operation, but they need that rail spur in order to be able to receive raw materials.
We've got a lot of infiltration, water, stormwater, creek water that's in our sewer system. And we're treating rainwater instead of sewage. And it hurts us real bad to be able to operate the sewer plant.
In order to deal with the wastewater issues in Johnson County, officials have applied for a $1 million grant to have the entire sewer system inspected for leaks and breaks, and to improve culverts and banks along particularly vulnerable locations. And
then we've got another $2 million project with water and sewer. We've got about 4 options to fix the sewer plant. The one option, just to get it back to where it was almost $6 million. Okay, another option is to try and mitigation to build a berm or wall around the whole thing, and you're looking at maybe $16 million to do that. And then FEMA, the sewer plant, all the sewer plants were built in a floodplain. I mean, you have to discharge at a creek, so our sewer plant's in a floodplain. And FEMA is adamant that you can't build back in a floodplain, or you have to flood-proof it. And there's one option that we may have to just build a whole new sewer plant, and you're looking at $45 to $55 million. Supposedly, we can possibly apply for a $20 million grant. Of course, that's an 80-20 match, and if we were to get the $20 million grant, then we'd have to fund $4 million. So we've had reserves to take care of what storm damage we had, and still function and not hurt. But when we go to funding these big projects, we're going to have to come up with a funding plan. We've also applied for 2 state revolving loans. We applied for those a year ago, and we've still not heard anything on those. So we're just looking at every avenue to try and get the funding to fix our infrastructure.
Like the rest of our region, Johnson County is not just dealing with wastewater. It's the roads, the bridges, the ability to get out. It's access to the world.
We had another smaller slide this week. We've got one road, Sink Valley Road, and it's so bad. We'll open that bid Tuesday, but it's actually so bad we had put it out for bid. We got to fix the road before we can fix the road. All the debris trucks hauling the debris from the lake, the streams. I mean, these big trucks at one time they was pulling trailers too, the twisting and turning. I mean, it's bad enough, but then the debris trucks, I call it, have devastated our roads. And if we don't get some reimbursement from FEMA, and hopefully we will, I mean, it's just more, I mean, how much more can we stand financially situation, real heartbreaking to try to reach out to Nashville to get help early on. If you need help, you need help now. You don't need it 9 months after the fact.
Johnson County, along with other counties in the region, has borrowed millions to get to this point. $10 million alone on road repairs. Without FEMA reimbursements, Washington County could be on the hook for close to $75 million in loans. It's hard to know where we stand with federal agencies after the storm, as many of those agencies ground to a halt with the newly enforced DOGE mandates. One thing's for sure, though, our region needs and deserves the help. And while roads are essential, so is the safety and education of our youth, as Carter County knows all too well.
The first projects for myself were, we lost a high school, Hampton High School, and so you'll have to cut that out, I'm sure. God, it's still emotional when I talk about this school, but that was a priority for me. It became a priority to getting these kids back in school. It was 400 students, 50 faculty that were completely relocated to a small elementary that we have, very small, no athletics, no athletic courts. We've had to share all that around the county, and then the surrounding counties have shared those fields and basketball courts with us. So Hampton High School became a priority to me. The governor and the General Assembly allotted $20 million to Carter County to fix Hampton High School. Originally, it was slated for a relocation because of the water treatment plant that's on the property. TDEC had originally said that we could not locate it there anymore because it was in a floodplain. That changed with the new administration when President Trump came in. A lot of rules changed under his administration, which then allowed us to locate it on the property, just not in the same location. So once we determined we could put that back, we realized we could fix the building, because the main building in Hampton, which was the gym and the classrooms, did not sustain that much damage, other than some flooding in the gym and into the bottom part of the school. But for the most part, the main building was in good shape.
We actually just this past week were able to close out the bidding process for our bank stabilization. There are a lot of roads up, especially in Roan Mountain, that the banks have been eroded from the water flow and whatnot. And where everybody's like, oh, fix the road, fix the road, fix the road. We can't do that until we fix the bank. The road has to have something to support. So we're excited to get those bank stabilization projects started and get the construction crews in there and address those issues. Once those issues are done, then we can definitely fix the road and have it back to pre-Helene conditions, especially up in the Roan Mountain area. To our bridges and other roads, we are still going to be at those temporary bridges, especially in the Pogee. We've got 2 temporary ones out there. Those bridges with 321 were washed away. They're still there. That's going to take more time. And I know everybody wants them sooner than later, but we need to take the time to make sure that it's going to be able to withstand another potential event like Helene.
As of this week, we will be opening up Broad Street Bridge. That bridge sustained damage from the hurricane, the infrastructure, and washed out the underneath it, so they had to jack it back up, and fingers crossed nothing else happened to it while they were doing it. So we're opening that back up with a ribbon cutting. So that's our first real positive reopening from this disaster since it occurred 9 months ago, is this bridge opening 9 months later with a ribbon cutting. So we're excited to share that with the community, just to kind of show the community involvement and how important certain pieces of infrastructure are to your community. Losing bridges and roads, you don't realize it until they're not there anymore. And so the loss of this bridge has detoured traffic for 9 months, and it's been very hard for people to move around. So that's one piece that we're excited about, is to have this bridge back open and get people back on their regular routes to and from work and school.
How would we prepare for a 1,000-year flood? I don't know that. I know our infrastructure was good. We just never prepared for the Nookatucky River to become that wild, and I don't think it probably had in 1,000 years. But I do think we've learned from it. We've learned, we go to great lengths with FEMA to not build in floodplains and things of that nature, just by their rule. But we pay more attention to that now. We're paying more attention to just stormwater runoff now than we did 10 years ago when I came into office. That's part of that preparedness. But as far as Helene was concerned, I don't know of anything that anybody could do to be more prepared. And as quickly as I think the communities and as the surrounding area, and as quickly as they responded, I think that's how America works.
Well, the big things for the county, we're getting ready to start paving the roads back. So we finally got through the bid process, and the county come up with the funds, to get the roads paved. So that's going to be a big thing that's going to happen here now. Get the roads paved, get them restored back. The debris process, as far as the county's concerned, is it's over. So we got most of the debris out. And the next thing, we're going to start working on some creek bank stabilization projects, because some of it's kind of put together to get the road open and get people going through, but trying to shore them up so if we get hit with another one, it doesn't automatically wash out the road. So that's going to be our next projects there. And of course, not from a county level, but our long-term recovery group is working hard and doing a lot of projects, getting people built back, getting them back in their homes, working on all that, and they're doing great work on that for us.
Perhaps the lasting image of Helene, a defining moment for our region, was a group of people stranded atop a hospital in Unicoi County, just yards away from Irwin's Jackson Love Bridge. Their heroic actions, their rooftop rescue, and the future of the hospital and healthcare in Unicoi County have been frequent topics in East Tennessee, recently addressed by the hospital's parent company, Ballad Health.
Every time I've ever driven to Asheville and come back over that mountain, it was the first thing you'd see, and it was really a source of pride for all of us. And it was devastating to sit and watch what happened. The moment we made the decision to move all those people to the roof, I leaned over to our communications person. I said, be prepared, this just became a national story. But I couldn't have been more proud of our people there. So our strategy is to build a new hospital. We want to. Now, the One Big Beautiful Bill made us we had to take a pause, because now the cost to build that new hospital is going to be close to $50 million. So if you spend $50 million to build a hospital that, by the time it opens, you're going to face $125 million in cuts, then you're having to start talking about if you have to possibly close hospitals. Our plan is to build that hospital. I think our first priority is to make sure we get emergency access back in that community. So I think that we've not wavered on. So two things have to happen at the same time. We've got to move forward with our planning. I've authorized to get an option on property so that we can at least solidify having the property. I've asked our team to start planning at least to look at emergency services and what it would take to stand those up. And our delegation's been very supportive. They put $10 million in the state budget to help us with the cost of building that new hospital. But that makes it even more important, since we're talking about using public money, to make sure that if we do it, that it's sustainable.
And that's what our region is looking for, a return to sustainability or stability. This storm, this once-in-a-100 lifetime hurricane, showed us that anything can be upended or uprooted. Roads are being rebuilt, bridges, schools, industry, and hopefully much-needed rural health care. Things we used to take for granted. Of all those things, though, there is one thing above all else that was tested, but it sustained. The cooperation and spirit of community. East Tennesseans stood strong together and made it through. And they are still working together to get the job done.
A lot of people, when you think about Helene, and I've been blessed to be able to travel across the state and talk about Helene at different panels and different events, and to me, it's really not what we lost. It's really what we gained. I have seen so much teamwork and so much compassion from the community and neighbors helping neighbors, people stepping up from the almost unimaginable spots in our community and all across our state and region, actually, to come in and help Carter County and East Tennessee. So that volunteer symbolism, that love of community, just the compassion that people have when people are hurting has really been evident, and all of the players that have come together from the executive, the legislative, and the judicial branch of the state and local government has been amazing. There has been no county lines, there has been no state lines. We have all just worked together to make our community the best that it can be and build it back and be resilient, and then be able to talk about what's happened to us to maybe help prevent such an extreme occurrence from happening again, whether it's in our community or whether it's in another community across the state.
When our emergency management team asked for support, a group of people came, not just local people, but also from other places in the state, and develop an incident command group that was highly trained, that had been through disasters, and they helped us coordinate everything from search and rescue to volunteer coordination. We had a huge influx of people wanting to contribute, wanting to help, and so we had all this water and food and cleaning supplies and clothes coming in. These people stepped up almost immediately and said, hey, my hand's up, how can I help? What can I do? How can I sort clothes? How can I sort supplies? Can we deliver things? We went through COVID for a number of years, really, and I felt like COVID pushed people apart. And what I saw in this disaster was people coming back together and people working together, neighbors helping neighbors, people donating whatever they had to their friends or neighbors. Anyone who needed something, they were able to get it. And it was an amazing outpouring of humanity.